And the reviews are in 9s and 9.5s all around, of course. IGN even gave them a 9 instead of the typical 7 they give everyone. You heard that right, a 9. The same rating they gave The Witcher 3, because these two games are so obviously of the same quality. This is also looking set to win the Game of the Year as well, something that I feared was coming 2 weeks ago. But before we get to see whether my prediction was right, let's talk about all the leaks and reviews that we got in our hands now. Of course, the reviewers that are EA partners got review codes early on, and the people who dare critique even one tiny little detail of the game did not. No surprise there really, since people who got their trips paid for and were promised a portion of the profits are singing the game's praises, and some have even cried. Honest to God, cried over how emotional this game supposedly made them.
I had them at 10. To put so much into someone. Actually, this exceeded my expectations greatly.
The best I can say is that I know Veilguard isn't perfect, but it was perfect for me.
Of course, there is nothing wrong with a game making you emotional. God knows I have cried with many a game throughout the years, so I am not trying to ridicule them because they cried, but because their tears felt crocodilian to me. As did the overall sentiment of, oh, this game is a great game and Bioware is totally back. To be honest, all these positive reviews just feel disingenuous to me. In the meantime, ex-employees, Bioware themselves, and now even gaming outlets have been and still are playing catch-up with the awful reception they know this game will have. There was even an article about how the Veilguard represents everything wrong with the gaming industry, but not for the reasons we think. I will go over this in another video, but it is clear to see that even before the game's release, they were playing catch-up with the awful reception this will surely have and making up excuses as to why it might fail. So they already know what's coming once the game is released. Even IGN is saying that if we never get another Dragon Age game again, then that's okay because it went out on a high note. They are already washing their hands off this game and shifting the blame to anything other than their own decisions for this game's inevitable demise. Once the actual gamers rate it for what it truly is, then they can just say, oh well, critics loved it, gamers are just the same toxic tourists that act like man-babies and that's why they gave us bad reviews and did not buy our game. They will then claim they are getting review bombed as well, and then reviews will start being removed. This is the standard response to bad fan reviews by studios nowadays, so I doubt this will be any different either. Once again though, I have to let cooler heads prevail and try to remain impartial.
What? Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
I do not want to give them the satisfaction of chalking everything we say up to us being angry, haters, toxic gamers, etc. I hate emotional arguments in general, and I believe that conversations and debates about any topic really are more productive when the two parties remain impartial and stay on topic by using logic and facts and not their emotions or how any given topic is making them feel. For example, a lot of people are focused on the woke propaganda, which granted is god-awful, that is present in the game, and playing right into Bioware's plan of giving them an out to disregard genuine criticism as hate. That way, no one pays much attention to the blatant manipulation of reviews and what gaming journalists are helping studios do behind our backs, but in front of our very own eyes. Because what they are truly doing is that they are trying to gaslight us into believing what they are telling us instead of what our own eyes are showing us. And to me, that is equally sinister as them trying to force their ideology and rhetoric down everyone's throats. Because they are essentially retconning the entire franchise in front of our very eyes, but are trying to make us believe that this isn't new, this has always been part of the franchise. This is not just review manipulation, but scamming. Because any other person trying to sell you something by claiming it is something it's really not, so that you are more likely to buy it, would be called a scammer, and said person would then face legal consequences. But this is not the case here. I still cannot believe how paying reviewers is even allowed, or how only giving early access codes to people who are praising your game and then also paying gaming media outlets to give you positive reviews when they do not even believe it themselves is even remotely in the realm of possibility of being allowed, or even legal for that matter. And do not tell me that they did not pay for these reviews, because how on earth does IGN really believe this is a 9 out of 10 game, so essentially perfect, while at the same time they also think this could very well be the last we see of Dragon Age? If this is so perfect, why wouldn't it be a massive success like The Witcher 3 was, which also got a 9 from them, by the way? Anyway, I have to calm down, because at the end of the day, am I surprised the positive reviews feel fake and orchestrated to make the game look like something it's not? No, not at all. Though I have to say I was disappointed with some of the reviewers, because I have been watching and following them, well, some of them, since I was in middle school, and it really hurt to see them sell themselves out in this way. I did reach out to one of them because she did allow us to ask some questions in the comments. To her credit, I have to say, she did say that she cannot in good faith review the game, because she mentioned that she has been working with them for all these 10 years on the game, so at least she is honest and open about this and not trying to convince us that her review is unbiased.
Before we continue, a clarification. This is not a review. Due to my role on the Community Council, as well as knowing far too much about the game's development behind the scenes over the last decade, I cannot, in good faith, review this game.
So anyway, I asked her about how all these new changes were given the green light by the focus group she was in, because she has been a massive fan of the games as well, and I cannot comprehend how any old Dragon Age fan would tell the devs these changes would go over great with the rest of us. I also brought up the sociopolitical force-feeding that Bioware is doing, and as of this video, she has yet to reply. In closing, I think I will reserve judgment for until I have played the game myself. Like I said, I do not want to give them any excuse to disregard any of our legit criticisms. And I did see some awful parts of leaked dialogue over on X, but other than that, I know next to nothing about how the game actually plays, what the story is like, etc. I even went for spoiler-free reviews so as not to be swayed one way or another about certain aspects of the story and game in general. But with everything that we know so far, I'm getting more and more disillusioned with the game, and as of right now, I cannot see how this could possibly be any good.
Wait a minute!
I am quickly editing this scene because it wasn't a part of the original video. But after seeing all these articles and reviews making up excuses as to why this might be the last Dragon Age, all the excuses about how this might fail, but especially the fact that the all-time fan reviewer cried, and the finality in her voice, something that I did mention in my comment as well, tells me that all these people know something that we do not yet. I feel like, especially her, because she was in the focus group and she has been working with Bioware for 10 years now, I feel like they already know that this is over. This will be the last we will see of not only Dragon Age, but Bioware as a whole, I think.
I don't want this to be a finale. And it felt like it, but it's not.
The other reviewer that cried and had the same finality in her voice about the game is also an EA partner and has also been working very closely with EA and Bioware on Dragon Age throughout these 10 years.
And so I bring this all up to say that it somehow happened again with Veilguard. A loss I felt responsible for.
So, people that are this close to the game, crying and having this finality in their voice, makes me feel like they know something that we do not yet. And that is why they got emotional, because their favorite game is over, and their favorite studio is going to get shut down. I think they already know that, and I think that's why they got so emotional in their reviews. I don't know, maybe I'm just reading way too much into this, and it's not that deep, or I'm reading between the lines way too hard, I don't know. But this is my gut feeling about the situation, that these people are privy to information that we are not yet privy to.